Hi, my name is Ryan, and this is a video about what happened in American politics last week. The terrorist attacks in Paris have caused a vicious argument between the press and presidential candidates alike on both sides of the political spectrum. There are basically two big issues that are dominating the airwaves right now. The first is that Republican nominees have called into question Obama's current plan against ISIS, the group behind the attacks. During a news conference in Turkey, the president couldn't help but show his frustration towards the situation and his belief that many people don't truly understand what's going on there and that there's no easy answer to the quagmire.
This is not, as I said, a traditional military opponent. We can retake territory, and as long as we leave our troops there, we can hold it, but that does not solve the underlying problem of eliminating the dynamics that are producing these kinds of violent extremist groups. And so we are going to continue to pursue the strategy that has the best chance of working, even though it does not offer the satisfaction, I guess, of a neat headline or an immediate resolution.
Basically, Obama's strategy is this: bomb them, but bomb them carefully. Support local troops, and don't do anything you'll regret later. This strategy has been working, but obviously with the recent terror attacks, many people have called it into question and are asking, is it working fast enough? Meanwhile, on the campaign trail, Hillary Clinton is trying to thread a needle between Obama's ISIS plan and her own more aggressive one. Here's Hillary's problem. She wants to stay close to Obama. She knows that if she can get all the 2008 and 2012 voters back out to the polls in support of her, she'll win, no questions asked. So because of this, she wants to be supportive of what the current president does. However, with the attacks, many people, Obama supporters included, have called into question his strategy and aren't happy with what's been going on in the Middle East. Hillary wants to draw support of these voters as well, and to do that, she can't stick to Obama's plan 100%. She has to distance herself from the president's strategy. When referring to her own strategy, Clinton said, "It's in many ways an intensification and acceleration of the president's strategy." And she's telling the truth. Hillary's strategy is basically Obama's strategy with higher numbers of airstrikes, supplies, and no-fly zones, which incidentally is not that far off from what the Republicans want to do. Even though they have similar strategies and they both hate ISIS, the two political parties still don't seem to be anywhere near an agreement. When it comes to taking out ISIS, it seems no one has a perfect or easy solution. The other major issue brought to the surface from the Paris attacks is Syrian refugees. The Obama administration would like to bring in
at least 10,000 Syrian refugees in the next fiscal year.
This would be a big step up from this year's total of only around 2,000 refugees. But again, many Republicans don't like this idea. NPR made a nifty little chart showing every current presidential candidate's stance on refugees and other questions related to the topic. As you can see, it literally could not be more divided. All the Republican nominees want to stop refugees from coming into our country altogether, save for Jeb Bush and Ted Cruz, who only want to let Christian refugees in, which, hey, is literally fascism, but whatever. Republicans aren't the only ones feeling uneasy about Syrian refugees. Congress, with the help of many Democrats, just passed a bill that would make getting into America as a refugee substantially harder than it already is, and the current process can already take up to 2 years. The new bill would require the heads of the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and the Director of National Intelligence to personally sign off on each individual refugee that tries to make it into America. Basically, very few refugees would be getting into the country. So why all the extra security? Because people are afraid of possible terrorists coming into America through the refugee program. That makes sense, until you consider this handy chart from The Guardian. Since 9/11, America has let over 700,000 refugees in, and only 3 have been arrested for terrorism charges. And it's worth noting, these 3 were only arrested for assisting or having ties with terrorist groups. None of them actually carried out attacks on American soil. In the wake of the attacks on Paris, we need to remember that the overwhelming majority of refugees and Muslims are good people who will only make the country in its fight against terrorism stronger. And to remind you of that fact, I'll leave you with Martin O'Malley's most memorable quote from the last Democratic debate. Have a good one.
We must protect our borders. But there is no substitute for having comprehensive immigration reform with a pathway to citizenship for 11 million people, many of whom have known no other country but the United States of America. Our symbol is the Statue of Liberty. It is not a barbed wire fence.
Thank you.